There is a hot topic in the community. Should DB Preacher stop using AI in Warhammer Tacticus videos? Today we're going to deep dive into the reasons for using them and what the problems are. As you can see, it's a different type of video today, and not one focused on my usual Warhammer content directly. As my community has grown, I've been receiving a lot of interesting feedback around one main topic in my videos: my use of AI art and animations. Even now, you're looking at AI art that has been animated using AI, and I bet you are thinking that even Erebus wouldn't stoop as low as I am going with the travesties of images that I am putting out. So I wanted to explain a little bit of the thought process that goes on behind it. For those of you coming into the channel from outside the Tacticus community, I'm a content creator that uses AI art, music, audio, sound effects, and animations in their video, and it is a divisive topic for a lot of people. The feedback is generally negative for the AI, but positive for the content itself. So let's explore the topic together. So firstly, I want to touch on the reasons why I use it, because there are a few. Whether they're right or wrong, they are at least clear to me. And it's important at this point to understand why I got into video making. There are a few reasons for this. Firstly, I was creatively stifled in my life. I didn't have a hobby that allowed me to have a creative outlet, one that would let me learn, but also let me teach for free. Video making gave me both of these things, and ever since I started, I've put an insane number of hours into my videos for what I get back in return. And so it's really all about having something else in my life that I could focus on. But there's a big problem here for me. Although I am creative, or at least I believe I am on some level, I certainly am not artistic. When I draw, it's art with a capital F. My animations look as smooth as a drunk badger, and it would be nothing but cheap for me to say that my landscapes are anywhere near the quality of my 8-year-old daughter's masterpieces. So I am definitely artistically deficient, and that poses a great problem. How do I create videos if I can't even write Space Marine in a legible way, let alone try and draw one? Also, one of the things I mentioned is that I wanted to learn, and with the AI revolution in the last 2 years, I wanted to be able to initially understand what this new world was all about, but also to keep up with the latest innovations in AI. For me, there's no better way than using it regularly. I am someone that gets easily distracted by shiny new toys, and so I know myself that if I don't have to use something and I just want to keep on top of it, then I will not do anything with it. So I need to use something, and I try and absorb everything I can about AI technology. So far, I've experimented with AI assistants like ChatGPT or Google Gemini. I've created AI art using Midjourney, Leonardo, or Stable Diffusion. I've messed around with animations using Studio DID, Pika, and Luma Dream Machine. I've created wonderful other characters in my videos using speech synthesis, and there's so much more. I even use it for things like resizing or touching up images as well. And so I've gone all in on AI for these reasons. I want to keep at the cutting edge of this new technology. I want to create visceral cinematic experiences for the Warhammer Tacticus community. I want to have an outlet to teach people about Tacticus in as beautiful a way as I possibly can. And finally, I want to have an outlet for my own stifled creativity and to find a way to supplement my lack of artistic talent. All seemingly good motives, I think, but what are the problems with it right now? I hear a lot of criticism from my community around the use of AI, but it isn't from a moral issue, which some of you might be thinking. It is actually from an accuracy issue. The Warhammer community is incredibly passionate about detail, and that means it's really important to get things right. However, this is where AI really falls down badly. It takes a lot of effort to get the details right, and sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you really don't nail it at all. I'll walk you through a really good example of failure. On screen, this is Barrackwell. He is a Deathwing Terminator, and a stunningly beautiful work of art from Games Workshop that has been brought to life by Snowprint, the developers of Warhammer Tacticus. I'm personally a huge fan of the Terminators. They look absolutely menacing on the battlefield, and especially in armor of this color makes things even better. They really pop. So let's see what a simple prompt gets us in Midjourney V6. Using the prompt Warhammer 40k Dark Angel Deathwing Terminator, bone white armor, green cinematic lighting, photograph, we get something that looks like this, and we are pretty far away from where we need to be. The wings, for example, shouldn't be there. So after a few rerolls, I brought in Baraquel's model to Midjourney to try and use with the cref and CW100 commands. This gets me a little closer, but the face isn't right here at all. And so sometimes you want to go back to the basics with Midjourney and really try something simple just to get the best results. So let's try and ask for Warhammer 40k Terminator armor. Oh dear. Well, let's at least try it in bone white. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, let's try being specific with Indomitus Pattern Tactical Dreadnought Armor. And oh boy, we are getting worse and worse. Maybe if I reroll a few times, let's see if that helps. Nope. Nope. Okay, let me just show the helmet. Nope. Okay, let me try and use the helmet with a reference. Oh, come on, that isn't even close. And so I gave up, but I ended up using this image, and then I slapped the Terminator head onto it. The result? Something that is a mess and doesn't have the correct weapon, and the community really pointed this out to me. Now, at this point, if I was any sort of artist, I could pour time into the image, tweaking it until it's perfect. But there are a couple of issues with that. As I said, I'm no artist, digital or otherwise. It would take me a very long time to do anything useful, and then it would still look like something stuck together from different images. And I have to balance time versus how good it is. Sometimes good is good enough, or in this case, mediocre has to be good enough. Then I took it to the next step. I wanted to get it moving, so I put it into Pika and got a bunch of travesties that look like this. Yikes. Later, I moved to putting it into Luma Dream Machine, which is much better than Pika, but does take hours for the free version to render anything, and so I just went with the first result that came out, and this was it. Now the comments, as you can imagine, are not kind, and they are very justified, I can see that, but in the end, I still want to produce images and movies that are more than just the basics. And then, of course, there is the moral issue. I am not blind to that. There is a lot of discussion online about AI art taking jobs from people's. For me, this isn't really something I hold value in for my specific case. I didn't use an artist prior to AI, and if AI art wasn't available, I would simply go back to not making YouTube videos. I'm not depriving an artist because I would never be able to afford to pay one for this hobby of mine. But I do understand that this is a very complex topic, as the more people that use AI art, the more the tool is developed, and then eventually it does lead to these issues. But in the end, I'm simply not a political person, so I can't really get too drawn into the moral conversation because I just don't have enough foresight about where it will end up and how we as a human race can face those challenges. Right now, I believe that we are still wasting much of our future focused on capitalism and wars for power, rather than uniting and working together for the better of us all. I think we should be focusing on that issue first before we try and fight against something that will be exploited for gains in both capitalism and war. Let's hope that the next generations that come after us do a lot better than the current generations in power. So we've talked a lot about where AI art doesn't work so well. How about where it does work well? There are a lot of images that I have produced that are absolutely outstanding pieces of art in their own right, and nothing I could ever create by myself. Usually when trying to prompt, keeping things simple helps a lot. For example, just tell a Midjourney that you want Warhammer 40k background, minimalistic, gives you so many incredible images like you can see on screen right now. And if you want to get really amazing scenes with Space Marines, then just asking for a dynamic image with a specific camera and you will get a visually stunning picture. And a lot of these I use for my thumbnails because they capture just such an amazing moment for YouTubers to latch onto. One of my favorite uses are the AI animations on an AI face or a photograph. And this was something that we really saw come to life in the Harry Potter Balenciaga videos a year ago. I remember when they first came out, I was absolutely mesmerized by what it was doing, both in an awkward way because they're just weird, but also just in the opportunities that was possible. Now they're coming to life in so many different ways. For example, as a presentation tool at work, peering over corporate workshop slides, or for bringing your loved ones back to life to talk to you. And I really love when people are jumping onto these things and using them in good ways.
The other part which is amazing is speech synthesis. I personally use the speech synthesis from 11labs.io to create a whole host of other characters in my videos. All of them sound professional. albeit it a little weird.
Then, of course, there's a whole world beyond this, including AI music, sound effects. But the thing that I'm waiting for most, and waiting for it to work, is something that lets me create 3D objects from a prompt, as this will let me create whole worlds quickly and effectively. Considering the speed of AI development, I expect this to be reaching us pretty soon, and just imagine the impact that will have. I want to really be there for it, and not hiding my head in the sand and hoping that all of this goes away. But imagine I did. What are the alternatives out there to using AI art for me? Well, you just need to look at the other Tacticus content creators for that. I could put my face on the video, or I could put together a picture using the Tacticus art that is shared to us from the developers. Both of these are incredible ways to present to the community, but for me, I've always wanted to try and do something just a little bit different and not copy these great creators. Why would I try and directly compete with Nandy or Buzz? They already do such an amazing job with their work. I want to find a niche, something cinematic, and maybe one day AI art will catch up to what's in my head, as well as capturing the details that we all want to see. So I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and challenges on AI, and why I will continue to use it in my videos. So maybe next time, just before you hit send to throw some really negative feedback my way, think about why I'm doing it, and think about what are the alternatives that would suit you better as a viewer. The beauty about the internet is not only the power of free speech and creativity, but also the power of choice. I know there will be the right creator out there for you, and I support your choice to pick the right creator. If it's not me, that's okay. Thank you for listening.